Hello and welcome to an Affinity Revolution tutorial. My name is Ezra Anderson, and today we're going to make a lovely diamond design. To begin our diamond, we're going to make a pentagon using the polygon tool. To select the polygon tool, you just need to click and hold on the triangle tool, and then select polygon tool. To make a pentagon, make sure your polygon has 5 sides up in the contextual toolbar. Then while holding down Shift, just click and drag to make a perfect pentagon. We're going to rotate our pentagon by clicking and dragging on this circular handle above our shape. While rotating the shape, hold down Shift to keep your rotation in 15-degree increments, and then rotate your pentagon 180 degrees. If you hover your cursor on the edge of this box, we can move our polygon and place it in the center of our document. Next, we're going to come to the contextual toolbar and convert our polygon to curves. Then we're going to click and drag to select both of these nodes. Then we're going to bring these nodes up. To make sure we bring them up in a straight line, you can hold down Shift while you're dragging them up. Then we're going to select these 2 nodes on the right side and move them a little bit to the right. To move these nodes, I'm going to hold down Shift and then click on the right arrow key on my keyboard. While holding down Shift, I clicked 5 times to move them to the right. I'm going to do the exact opposite thing for these nodes over here. First, I'll click and drag to select both of these nodes, and then while holding down Shift, I'll click 5 times on the left arrow key. Now we want to move this node a little bit to the left and this node a little bit to the right without affecting these 2 top nodes. To do this, I'm first going to select this right node, and then while holding down Shift, I'll click on the right arrow key 3 times. Then I'll select this node, and while holding down Shift, I'll click on the left arrow key 3 times. For your own design, you can move any of your nodes a little bit more or less than what I did. Next, we're going to remove the fill from this shape and give it a thicker stroke. So I'll come to the color panel, and with the fill selected, I'll click on No Fill. Then I'll come to the stroke panel and increase the width of the stroke. Now we're going to use the pen tool to add some lines onto our diamond. I'll press P for the pen tool. Then I'm going to change the mode in the contextual toolbar to line mode. Before we begin adding lines to the diamond, we need to make sure nothing is selected. To do this, I'm going to come to the Layers panel and click anywhere down here so we have no layer selected. Then I'll come into our document and use the pen tool to begin making lines. First, I'll come over to this corner and lay down a node. Then I'll come to this other corner and click to lay down another node. Because we're in line mode, our line has been completed and made a curve as a new layer. We'll continue to lay down 2 nodes to make more lines on our diamond. I'll come up to this corner and lay down a node, and then I'll come to the very bottom to make another node. Then I'll come up here and lay down a node, and click again at the bottom. Then I'll click over here, and then finish my line at the top center of the diamond. And I'll do the same for the right side. First I'll click over here, and then click in the top middle. Now we want to group all of these lines that we've made. So with the top layer selected, I'm going to hold down Shift and click on the bottom layer, and then press Command or Control G to group them. Next, we're going to trace over all of these shapes on the diamond. We want to trace all of these shapes so they're independent shapes and can have different fills from the other shapes on the diamond. To do this, we'll keep the pen tool out, but we'll change to polygon mode. Now we just need to trace all of the shapes on our diamond. I'll come to the shape at the top left and click once to lay down my first node, and then click again down here for my second node, and then make a third node, and then I'll close my shape by clicking on the original node. As you can see, I've made a new shape over in the Layers panel. I'm going to continue this process for all of the other shapes. We've now finished tracing all of the shapes on our diamond. Now I'll press V for the Move tool and click and drag to select all of these shapes. Then I'll come to the Color panel and give all of these shapes a new color. I'll also come to their stroke and give them no stroke. Our next task is to give all of these shapes different colors. We're going to design this diamond as if a light source was coming from up here. If the light source was at the top left, then these shapes should have lighter colors, and these shapes should have darker colors to represent the shadow. I'm going to come to my swatches panel and use some swatches that I've already made before this video. If you'd like to download the same colors that I'm using, I've included a download link in the video description. After you download the swatches file, you can import it into Affinity Designer by coming into the swatches panel and then clicking on this menu here. Then you just need to press on Add Application Palette and select the file that you downloaded. Once you've downloaded the swatches, it's as easy as selecting one of the shapes and then giving it a color. I'm going to start with the shape at the top left. First, I'll click anywhere off the document so none of my shapes are selected, and then click on the shape at the top left. Then I'll give it this first color. It looks like I've added this color as the stroke for the shape, which isn't what I want to do, so I'm going to press on these arrows to switch the two colors of my stroke and fill. Then I'm going to press on the No Fill option to remove my stroke. Now I'll come to the second shape and make sure that I'm working with its fill. Then I'll give it the second color. I'll continue to add these colors to the rest of the shapes. Now I'm going to group all of these shapes. To do this, I'll just click and drag, and then with all of them selected, I'll press Command or Control G. I'm going to make my diamond a little bit wider and a little bit bigger. Then I'll place it in the center of the document. Finally, you can easily change the color of your diamond without going through and changing the individual colors of all of these shapes. We can do this by adding an HSL adjustment. To add this adjustment, just press on the adjustments icon and then select HSL. Then we can change the hue to whatever we want. You now have all the skills you need to make your own beautiful diamond design.